Okay, girls, hopefully you can see me well and hear me well enough. I'm going to read the first 5 pages of chapter 13 of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, like we've been reading. This chapter is called The Very Secret Diary. The last time we read, remember that Hermione got turned into a cat because she got the wrong hair for the Polyjuice potion. So, the Very Secret Diary. Hermione remained in the hospital wing for several weeks. There was a flurry of rumor about her disappearance when the rest of the school arrived back from their Christmas holidays, because of course everyone thought that she had been attacked. So many students filed past the hospital wing trying to catch a glimpse of her that Madame Pomfrey took out her curtains again and placed them around Hermione's bed, to spare her the shame of being seen with a furry face. Harry and Ron went to visit her every evening. When the new term started, they brought her each day's homework. "If I'd sprouted whiskers, I'd take a break from work," said Ron, tipping a stack of books under Hermione's bedside table one evening. "Don't be silly, Ron. I've got to keep up," said Hermione briskly. Her spirits were greatly improved by the fact that all the hair had gone from her face and her eyes were turning slowly back to brown. "I don't suppose you've got any new leads," she added in a whisper, so that Madame Pomfrey couldn't hear her. "Nothing," said Harry gloomily. "I was so sure that it was Malfoy," said Ron for about the 100th time. "What's that?" asked Harry, pointing to something gold sticking out from under Hermione's pillow. "Just a get well card," said Hermione, hastily trying to poke it out of sight, but Ron was too quick for it. He pulled it out, flicked it open, and read aloud. "To Miss Granger, wishing you a speedy recovery from your concerned teacher, Professor Gilderoy Lockhart, Order of Merlin, 3rd class, honorary member of the Dark Force Defense League, and 5-time winner of Witch Weekly's Most Charming Smile Award." Ron looked up at Hermione, disgusted. "You sleep with this under your pillow?" But Hermione was spared answering by Madame Pomfrey sweeping over with her evening dose of medicine. "Is Lockhart the smarmiest bloke you've ever met, or what?" Smarmiest, that kind of means like he thinks he's really cool, but he's probably not. "Is Lockhart the smarmiest bloke you've ever met, or what?" Ron said to Harry as they left the infirmary and started up the stairs towards Gryffindor Tower. Snape had given them so much homework, Harry thought he was likely to be in 6th year before he finished it. Ron was just saying he had wished he had asked Hermione how many rat tails you were supposed to add to a hair-raising potion when an angry outburst from the floor above reached their ears. "That's Filch," Harry muttered as they hurried up the stairs and paused out of sight, listening hard. "You don't think someone else has been attacked?" said Ron tensely. They stood still, their heads inclined toward Filch's voice, which sounded quite hysterical. "Even more work for me, mopping all night like I haven't got enough to do. No, this is the final straw. I'm going to Dumbledore." His footsteps receded along the out-of-sight corridor, and they heard a distant door slam. They poked their heads around the corner. Filch had clearly been manning his usual outlook post. They were once again on the spot where Mrs. Norris had been attacked. They saw at a glance what Filch had been shouting about. A great flood of water stretched over half the corridor, and it looked as though it was still seeping from under the door of Moaning Myrtle's bathroom. Now that Filch had stopped shouting, they could hear Myrtle's wails echoing off the bathroom walls. "Now what's up with her?" said Ron. "Let's go and see," said Harry, and holding their robes over their ankles, they stepped through the great wash of water to the door bearing its out-of-order sign. They ignored it as always and entered. Moaning Myrtle was crying, if possible louder and harder than ever before. She seemed to be hiding down her usual toilet. It was dark in the bathroom because the candles had been extinguished in the great rush of water that had left both walls and floor soaking wet. "What's up, Myrtle?" said Harry. "Who's that?" glugged Myrtle miserably. "Come to throw something else at me." Harry waded across to her stall and said, "Why would I throw something at you?" Don't ask me, Myrtle shouted, emerging with a wave of yet more water, which splashed onto the already sopping floor. Here I am, minding my own business, and someone thinks it's funny to throw a book at me. But it can't hurt you if someone throws something at you, said Harry reasonably. I mean, it'd just go right through you, wouldn't it? He had said the wrong thing. Myrtle puffed herself up and shrieked. Excuse me. Let's all throw books at Myrtle because she can't feel it. 10 points if you can get it through her stomach, 50 points if it goes through her head. Well, ha ha ha, what a lovely game. I don't think. Who threw it at you anyway, said Harry. I don't know. I was just sitting in the U-bend thinking about death, and it fell right through the top of my head, said Myrtle, glaring at them. It's over there. It got washed out. Harry and Ron looked under the sink where Myrtle was pointing. A small, thin book lay there. It had a shabby black cover and was as wet as everything else in the bathroom. Harry stepped forward to pick it up, but Ron suddenly flung out an arm to hold him back. What? Said Harry. What? Said Harry. Are you crazy? Said Ron. It could be dangerous. Dangerous, said Harry, laughing. Come off it. How could it be dangerous? You'd be surprised, said Ron, with a look looking apprehensively at the book. Apprehensively means kind of scared. Some of the books the ministries confiscated means they took it away from somebody, almost like stealing, but it's for a good purpose. Some of the books the ministries confiscated, Dad's told me, that there was one that burned your eyes out, and everyone who read Sonnets of a Sorceress spoke in limericks for the rest of their lives. Limerick is a type of poem. And some old witch in Bath had a book that you could never stop reading. You just had to wander around with your nose in it, trying to do everything one-handed, and... All right, I've got the point, said Harry. The little book lay on the floor, nondescript and soggy. Well, we won't find out unless we look at it, said Harry. He said, and he ducked around Ron and picked it up off the floor. Harry saw at once that it was a diary, and the faded year on the cover told him it was 50 years old. He opened it eagerly. On the first page, he could just make out the name T.M. Riddle in smudged ink. Hang on, said Ron, who had approached cautiously and was looking over Harry's shoulder. I know that name. T.M. Riddle got an award for special services to the school 50 years ago. How on earth did you know that? Said Harry in amazement. Because Filch made me polish his shield about 50 times in detention, said Ron resentfully. That was the one I burped slugs all over. If you'd wiped the slime off a name for an hour, you'd remember it too. Harry peeled the wet pages apart. Harry peeled the wet pages apart. They were completely blank. There wasn't the faintest trace of writing on any of them. Not even Aunt Mabel's birthday or dentist 3:30. He never wrote in it, said Harry, disappointed. I wonder why someone wanted to flush it away, said Ron curiously. Harry turned to the back cover of the book and saw the printed name of a variety store on Vauxhall Road, London. He must have been Muggleborn, said Harry thoughtfully, to have bought a diary from Vauxhall Road. Well, it's not much use to you, said Ron. He dropped his voice. 50 points if we can get it through Myrtle's nose. Harry, however, pocketed it. Okay, so that was the first 5 pages. There are about 15 pages in this chapter, so I'll try to read 5 pages a night and be able to get to you guys. I love you guys so much. You guys are my best buddies, and I can't wait to see you again. Bye.